new does in the washing machine, finest does you've ever seen. Been new now when you sing, does everything.
Hello there. We've been waiting for you. It's Halloween and time to play truth or consequences. Yes, Truth or Consequences, the show that does everything on the air, brought to you by the new Does, the soap that does everything in your wash. And here he is, without a broomstick, but really riding high, our year-round Halloween fellow, Ralph, aren't we goblins, Edward? Oh, thank you very much, Harlow Wilcox and Witch Party Players. Yes, sir, the witches and hobgoblins are out tonight, and all the well-dressed ghosts are wearing their whitest sheets. From the East Ghost to the West Ghost, it's the new Does that gives those sheets that increased whiteness. Does everything. Oh, this guy's haunted by a Does box. Well, here we are in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, one of America's most beautiful, industrious, warm-hearted cities, ladies and gentlemen. I do mean that. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where for a whole week we've been setting new records here at the auditorium with a lot of fun at the food show, and for the first time in 6 years, Truth or Consequences falls on Halloween, so hang on to your heads, kids. Anything can happen tonight. In between hobgoblins and spooks, we'll make 3 more phone calls in the Papa and Mama Hush contest for the mental health drive. Already the prizes in the giant jackpot amount to a 10-year supply of the new Does, a 2-week vacation for 2 from any place in the United States to Union Pacific, Sun Valley, Idaho. All expenses paid. A new 1949 Nash Ambassador Air Flight automobile. A 3-year supply of Cyberling Safe Air tires and tubes. A Victor Animatograph 16-millimeter sound and silent moving picture projector with a Victor motion picture camera, $2,500 in United States security bonds, and a round trip for 2 to Washington, D.C. to witness the inauguration ceremonies of the President of the United States with a week's stay at the Statler Hotel. And if no one correctly identifies Pop and Mama Hush tonight, 3 more fabulous prizes will be added. Stand by in a moment. We'll make our first phone calls. Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
What is your name?
Mrs. O'Sullivan.
Do you feel like Halloween, Mrs. O'Sullivan?
Very much so.
Go like that. Relax.
Well...
That's good. Oh, boy. This is the night to howl, isn't it? Here's a question for you, Mrs. O'Sullivan. You live here in Milwaukee?
I do.
All your life?
Yes. No, not quite.
Yeah, no. Makes two. It's a wonderful city, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Mr. O'Sullivan works here?
Yes, he does.
You want to tell us his occupation?
He's a linotype operator.
Here's from George W. Branham of Martinsville, Virginia. There comes this question. Why is a hunting license just like a marriage license? Truth or consequences, Mrs. O'Sullivan? Why is a hunting license just like a marriage license? Who does the linotype for?
Marquette University Press.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell.
Why is a hunting license just like a marriage license? It entitles you to 1 deer and no more, you see? All right, Mrs. O'Sullivan, you haven't told truth, so you must pay the consequences. Now, tonight is Halloween, right, Mrs. O'Sullivan?
It is.
Yes, so let's start
afraid.
the evening off right and give you a Halloween consequence, okay?
All right.
We're going to blindfold you and take you to an old mystery haunted house here in Milwaukee. How about that, huh? If you can identify the house, we'll give you $100. Okay with you?
All right.
Okay, put the blindfold on her, boys. From now on, you'll be blindfolded for the rest of the program. That's it. Now take her to you-know-where right now, Al Pascal. Get her on her way. Whoops, watch her. Go easy. Telephone wires all over the place here in the Papa and Mama Hush calling. That's it. Now put the blindfold on good. That's got it. All right, take her to you-know-where. We'll tune you in when you get there. Mrs. O'Sullivan. Off she goes. Happy Halloween. Is she gone? You can't hear. Make sure. Ooh, what's going to happen to her? Guess where we're taking Mrs. O'Sullivan. When she gets to this mystery Halloween place, she'll hear noises of clanking chains and moans and groans. She'll hear flapping of bats' wings, and do you know where she'll be? In her very own living room. See? With the help of her husband, we've placed microphones in her house, set up recordings of Halloween noises. We'll brush silk threads over her face to make it feel as if it were cobwebs. I imagine she'll think she's in a haunted house, but we'll tune her in shortly and find out what she says. $100 if she can guess correctly. Well, we don't go through to save $100. Good luck now. Mrs. O'Sullivan, on your way. Now, let me see. Wait a minute. Where's Wilcox? Where's Wilcox? Oh, there you are, Harlow. Are you going down to the polls next Tuesday?
Sure, Ralph. I'm going from wash pole to admire those beautiful Does washes.
How does he think of these things, anyway?
You know, more and more folks are electing new Does as their wash day choice because the way Does does everything now is bigger news than ever.
Well, tell us about it, Harlow. I'm voting for you, boy.
There's a wonderful improvement in soaps, and the new Does has it. The greatest improvement in soaps today is in new Does. Folks, you want increased whiteness for towels and linens?
Delegate them to Does.
Yes, the new Does gives you the whitest white any soap will. It gets grimy work clothes clean without hard scrubbing. And yet, when it comes to those pretty stripes, prints, plaids you wash...
I make a motion you does them with Does.
Sure, Does has always been safest for those colors, safest of all leading wash day package soaps. And now the new Does goes even further, acts like a tonic for them, gives them new beauty, new pep.
For a new lift on wash day, get new Does.
It's in the same famous red box. Does everything from the roughest and toughest to the whitest and brightest.
Thank you, Harlow Wilcox. And now Stand By America. Our NBC operator's putting through the first call in our Papa and Mama Hush contest. It might be you we're calling. This is the person who was selected by the judges as having written the best entry on the subject. We should all support the mental health drive because if this person correctly identifies Papa and Mama Hush, he or she receives the giant jackpot of prizes. Here we go. Hello, operator. Is this Madison, Wisconsin? This is truly a coincidence, being in Wisconsin, having a call right in Wisconsin. The judges are the ones who select this, and here we go. Madison, Wisconsin, do you have our party on the line? Good. Hello. Hello. Is this Mrs. M.B. Wigderson, Wigderson, of 10 Hillside Terrace, Madison, Wisconsin? This is Ralph Edwards, The Truth of Consequences. How are you? Happy Halloween. Congratulations on your fine entry statement, Ms. Wigderson, on why we should all support the mental health drive. Are you ready? Last week, Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Cantor, Mr. and Mrs. Henry Luce, and Irene Dunn, and her husband, Dr. Griffith, were incorrectly named as Papa and Mama Hush. So here we go for new names. Now, are you ready? All right, Mrs. Wigderson, and you're allowed only one answer and talk up real loud, will you? Tell us who you think are Papa and Mama Hush. You're afraid it's wrong, you say. What is the name? Who are the names? Say it louder. I cannot hear you. No, I still can't hear you. I'm sorry. There are too many... Bing Crosby and Dixie Lee? You say Bing Crosby and Dixie Lee? I'm sorry, Mrs. Wigderson. Bing Crosby and Dixie Lee are wrong. But thanks for your interest in the mental health drive. Try again next week. Will you do that for us? Send in as many entries as you choose. We're sending you a 48-piece set of fine art sterling silver as a gift. Good night. Good night. Now, in a moment, we'll call another winner. I hope it'll be your number called. And if Papa and Mama Hush are not identified tonight, I hope you'll all get in the Papa and Mama Hush contest for the mental health drive immediately. More about that later. And the contributions are wonderful. Hello, what is your name, please?
Mrs. Peterson.
How are you, Miss Peterson?
Oh, fine, thank you.
Good. What's your occupation?
Housewife?
All the time in Milwaukee?
Yes.
Good. What does Mr. Peterson do?
He's a tool and die maker.
He did what?
He's a tool and die maker.
Oh, I thought he wasn't with us anymore. Well, that's nice. Mrs. Peterson? Now, here's a question for you, Mrs. Peterson, and we'll have a consequence if you miss. Are you ready?
Sure.
Any children?
Yes.
How many?
One daughter,
What are their names?
Lois. He's
Lois.
married and has 2 grandchildren.
Is that...
I have 2...
Oh. I was going to say Milwaukee does everything, but I guess not. All right. Now, Conrad Fiorella of Brooklyn, New York asks, why would anybody bring a bottle of milk to a poker game? Truth or consequences? Mrs. Earl Peterson.
Oh.
Why would anyone bring a...
School or something?
No. To feed the kitty, it says here. Mrs. Peterson, you haven't told the truth, so you must pay the consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, tonight being Halloween, Mrs. Peterson, you're going to have your fortune told. Is that okay with you?
Thrilling.
Well, will you please run off stage and get the crystal ball? Will you? Will you
Where
do that?
is it?
Right off there. Mr. Ed Bailey will show you. And while we bring out the special Halloween fortune teller. That's the stuff. Now, you'll find the crystal ball on the table back there, if you please. That's the stuff. Now, we're all set. Is she gone? She can't hear? Something's going to happen to her, too, you know. Mrs. Peterson is being told by our assistants backstage that the fortune teller is actually her husband in disguise. Now, that's what she's being told, and that each time the so-called fortune teller is correct in what he says, she will have to give him a kiss, you see. Well, she won't mind being kissed when she thinks it's her husband. But the gag is The disguised fortune teller won't be her husband at all, but a man who was flown here all the way from Hollywood via TWA Transworld Airlines Constellation, specially for this Halloween broadcast tonight. And who is this man who Mrs. Peterson will think is her masquerading husband and be kissing? None other than the famous movie and stage star, the well-known bogeyman, Mr. Boris Karloff. Hi, Mr. Karloff. Hello, Boris.
Hello, Ralph. How are you?
We're sure having a party here, aren't we?
We certainly are.
Well, now listen, Boris. You're going to be the fortune teller. Mr. Karloff, you see, will be the fortune teller who Mrs. Peterson. Her name is Mrs. Peterson. Who Mrs. Peterson won't mind kissing because she'll think it'll be her husband. You see.
Lovely.
We'll play a little love scene tonight, right?
Oh, I've always wanted to play a tender love scene.
Why, Boris, is that a love light shining in your eyes?
No, it's a candle left over from last Halloween.
Okay, now, Boris Karloff, let's get on here with your disguise here. There's a robe and a cape. Now, first put on this black beard, if you will, please. There goes the beard on. She'll think it's her husband for sure. And these dark glasses, they go on next. That's the stuff.
With ketchup.
It's all right. These dark glasses and this turban. Al and Fred, fix the turban on Mr. Karloff so that Mrs. Peterson won't tell, but if it's her own husband, that's it. Now drape this robe around the shoulders to hide your suit. How you doing, Boris? All right?
Wonderful, thank you, wonderful.
All right. And put on these big gloves there. That's the stuff. All right. Now, you could easily be Mrs. Peterson's husband. Here, look in the mirror and see how you look, Boris. How do you... There it is. Don't be frightened of yourself. Attaboy, don't be frightened. Tuck that in under his ear now, and we'll be all set to go. Now, here are 3 facts you are to remember. Will you tell me those 3 facts, please? Now, Mr. Karloff has been briefed in them, I believe. Now, here are the 3. You are to remember what city she was born in. Now, we gleaned all this information from her husband. The city is Milwaukee, right?
Milwaukee.
That's right. Her, Mrs. Peterson was born in Milwaukee. Her father's business was, and we also got this from the husband, Boris, and we told it to you. What is it going to be now?
Trucking business.
Trucking business. I wonder if that's dancing or just the tray. I guess it's trucking. All right. And she has...
One daughter.
That's right. Oh, we're going to be so bright, we fortune tellers. All right, now, we got all this information from her husband during the warm-up just before he went on the air. Now, give us a mysterious voice as Mr. Peterson, the husband, might sound if he were disguised. You see, if he disguised his voice. Say, my name is Swami Husbando, as Mr. Peterson might say it.
My name is Swami Husbando.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm going to put the beard up a little so they can't see the... There we are. All right. Now we're all... You ought to be an actor, you know.
That's what my agent keeps telling me.
You know, the build-up got more in the punchline. I didn't plan that, did we, Bob? All right. Now, remember, folks, Mrs. Peterson is going to be pretty confident about kissing the fortune teller every time he tells her something true because she'll think it's her husband. But wait till the fortune teller takes off his beard and dark glasses and it turns out to be... Ooh, it scares me to think of it, I'll tell you that. All right. I think we're all set to go. Bring in Mrs. Peterson with the crystal ball. Boris Karloff, aren't we the Halloween devil? Ha-ha! He's that way up high there. That's it. Oh, we're all set to go. Now, Mr. Oh, yes, well, you just stay there. How do you do? You have the crystal ball, Miss?
Yes, I have.
Oh, put the crystal ball here, if you will, please. I'd like you to meet the celebrated fortune teller, Swami Husbando.
Who?
Stand over this way, please. This is Swami Husbando.
How do you do, Swami?
Oh, my. I wonder who that could be. All right, now, Husbando is going to reveal your past, and each time he's correct in his statement, you must give him a great big kiss, okay? Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Sure, over.
Whiskers, too?
Sure, whiskers all the way through. Now, you don't mind, do you? No. All right. Now, Swami reveals to Mrs. Peterson her past. First, where was she born? Look into the crystal ball. Now, where was she born?
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, is that right?
Yes.
How do you like that, Milwaukee? Why, well, look, if that's right, you'll have to kiss him. Go ahead, kiss him. Break it up. Swami just about passed out on that one. Okay, now for another question for the Swami. Swami, what business was Mrs. Peterson's father in? Now, listen. Well, you're thinking, aren't you?
Yeah.
What business was her father in?
Trucking business.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
How do you like? Now, how could a person know that? Oh, another kiss. Oh! Wait a minute, Mrs. Husbando just fell down on his knees from the impact of this kiss. My goodness, you are some kisser.
I'm used to that.
You're used to it with this. It doesn't mind. Oh, my. How are you doing, Swami? All right. All right. Now, Swami, the last question. How many children does Mrs. Peterson have? She may never live through this. How many?
One daughter.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, don't stand there kissing. We're going to just... Okay. Wait a minute. Wait it up. Okay. How you doing? Oh, brother, I've never seen such maggots in my life. Oh. Now, Mrs. Peterson, do you think your husband would mind your kissing this absolute stranger?
Not at all. I knew it was him all the time. I'm used to that.
Bless your heart. She knew it was you all the time. How did you... That's a good joke on your husband, isn't it?
Sure.
You knew you were kissing your husband all the time.
I knew those lips.
You knew those lips. Well, maybe she knows something I don't know. Mr. Peterson, she knew it all the time. You didn't fool her at all. Oh, my. Okay, Swami, you can remove your beard and turban. Go ahead. The joke's over. Remove the beard. You were certainly swell. Give him another kiss, why don't you? Come on, Swami. Turn around. Here we go. Don't run away, Mr. What's the matter? Who is it? Who is it? Boris Karloff! Yes, Boris Karloff! There you are. Oh, she can really kiss, can't she, Boris?
Brother, have I been kissed?
Oh, my, they're going to... Boris, you can always say they loved you in Milwaukee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ralph. For the Halloween witch has offered me a place in her room, and I'm flying back to Chicago tonight. Good night.
Okay. Good. Oh, another kiss for the ladies. Thank you very much. A big hand to Boris Karloff. And our thanks to you. How you doing, Mrs. Peterson?
Where's my husband?
Your husband is right off stage all the time. We'll bring your husband on now. We have for you a 14-karat, 17-jewel Bulova wristwatch, plus $50 in cash, and a big red box of the new Duz.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being a wonderful, wonderful sport. Oh, brother. All right, now hand me the phone again, please. There comes the husband back on stage now. Hand me... She's going to kiss him now. All right, hand me the phone again, please. Our operator, Billy Clevenger, is putting through the second call to the person who wrote the second best entry for tonight's Papa and Mama Hush contest. Hello, operator. Operator, is this Chicago, Illinois? Do you have our party on the line? Good. Hello. Is this Mrs. Eda, E-D-A, J. LeShan, capital L-E, capital S-H-A-N, of 1746 East 73rd Place, Chicago, Illinois? Hello, Miss LeShan. Talk up real loud, please. This is Ralph Edwards of Truth or Consequences. Your entry on why we should all support the mental health drive was the second best entry for tonight. So here's your chance to identify Papa and Mama Hush and win the jackpot. Are you ready? You know, Bing Crosby and Dixie Lee were guessed incorrectly already tonight. Now, you only have one guess. Tell us who you think are Papa and Mama Hush. Who? You say Dorothy Stickney and Howard Lindsay? You say Dorothy Stickney and Howard Lindsay. I'm sorry, Mrs. LeShan of Chicago. Dorothy Stickney and Howard Lindsay are not Papa and Mama Hush. Thank you for your interest in the mental health drive. And as a gift to you, a beautiful 48-piece set of fine art sterling silver. Thank you. Keep trying, and good night. In a moment, our third call tonight. Maybe it'll be the winner. Who are Papa and Mama Hush? The new Duz nominates this week's Dishpan Duzzer. She's Jane E. Avery of Oakland, California.
Miss Avery writes, it's indescribable the way those Duz suds stand up. They're thick and rich till the very last dish. Yes, ma'am. Everybody loves the way Does everything in the dishpan, too. New Does is fast on pan, kind to hand. Changing to New Does from those strong soaps can actually mean softer, smoother hands.
Start doesing your dishes, folks. Thanks, Harlow. Sit down, boy. We're going to make our third call. Who are Pop and Mama Hush? Our NBC operator's putting through the third call. Hand me the phone, please. Hello, operator. Is this Geneva, New York? Right. Is our party on the line? Hello, is this Mrs. Walter H. Putziger, Putziger, of 561 South Main Street, Geneva, New York? Is this Mrs. Putziger? How do you pronounce it? Putziger. This is Ralph Edwards of Truth or Consequences, Miss Putziger. You know, of course, that Dorothy Stickney and Howard Lindsay and Bing Crosby and Dixie Lee already have been incorrectly given as names for Papa and Mama Hush tonight. Here's the big moment for you, and you can give only one answer. Tell us who you think are Papa and Mama Hush. Say it again, please. Mr. and Mrs. Lewis Stone. You say Mr. and Mrs. Lewis Stone. I'm sorry, Mrs. Putziger. Mr. and Mrs. Lewis Stone are wrong, but thank you for your interest in the mental health drive. We're sending you a 48-piece set of fine art sterling silver and hope you'll get in next week's contest immediately. Good night. Good night to Geneva. Okay, that's the city. Once again, here they are, the voices that are mystifying America, Papa and Mama Hush, a well-known American father and mother. Listen to the giant jackpot of prizes. A 10-year supply of the New Does, a 2-week vacation for two from any place in the United States to Union Pacific, Sun Valley, Idaho. All expenses paid. A new 1949 Nash Ambassador Air Flight automobile. A 3-year supply of Cyberling Safe Air tires and tubes. A Victor Animatograph 16mm sound and silent projector with a Victor motion picture camera. $2,500 in United States security bonds and a round trip for two to Washington, D.C. to witness the inauguration ceremonies of the President of the United States with a week's stay at the Statler Hotel. Now, to this, Truth or Consequences will add next week a Stromberg-Carlson combination radio phonograph, a famous Story and Clark Spinet piano, and a $2,000 Hot Point all-electric kitchen. This includes an automatic electric range, a refrigerator, an electric sink with automatic dishwasher and garbage disposal, plus matched Hot Point kitchen cabinets and counters. Now listen to the voices of Papa and Mama Hush speaking from somewhere in the United States. Here are Papa and Mama Hush.
If 2 and 3 our number be, then we are 4. Yet we are 3.
But when times come and life's begun, 5 and 2 are then about 1.
Who are they? If you think you can identify Papa and Mama Hush, follow these rules. Finish this sentence in 25 additional words or less. Now get the sentence. We should all support the mental health drive because. Now you might say something like this. We should all support the mental health drive because to support the mental health drive is to help all of us better understand the problems and treatment of the mentally sick. Enclose contribution, if you please, to the mental health drive. Eligibility for participation in the contest is not contingent upon your contribution. Mail to Pop and Mama Hush, Hollywood, California. Your name, address, and telephone number must be printed plainly on the upper right-hand corner of the paper on which the entry is written. Do not include the name of Pop and Mama Hush in your entry. The charity has selected 3 prominent citizens to act as final judges. Judges will select the first, second, and third best entry from the best entries chosen by the charity judging staff. At the time of our Eastern broadcast, we'll call the writer of the best entry. If he can't identify Pop and Mama Hush, the writer of the second best entry will be called, and then the third choice of the judges if the second fails to identify correctly.
Each week brings a new contest until Papa and Mama Hush are identified. Entrants must be at their telephones during our Eastern broadcast, 8:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Central Time, 6:30 Mountain Time, 6:30 California and Nevada Time, and 5:30 Pacific Time. Entries will be judged for sincerity, originality, and aptness of thought. Judge's decision will be final. The competition terminates when Papa and Mama Hush are identified. All entries and ideas therein become the property of Truth or Consequences. Contributions become the property of the Mental Health Drive, and none will be returned. Any resident of the United States may compete, except employees and their families of Truth or Consequences, NBC, Procter & Gamble, their advertising agencies, and the charity organizations involved.
Thanks, Harlow. All entries received by October 29th have been entered in the next contest. Those received after that date will be used in the following week's contest, providing Pop and Mama Hush have not been identified. Enter as often as you please, only one entry to an envelope. These contests are being broadcast subject to all state and federal laws and regulations. Remember, be at your phones next Saturday, November 6th, when we make our next 3 phone calls in the Papa and Mama Hush contest. Papa and Mama Hush, can't you give us a further clue?
We'll try, Mr. Edwards. The big clue is in the first 2 lines. If 2 and 3 our number be, then we are 4. Yet we are three. Three what? And for what?
But when times come and life's begun, 5 and 2 are then about 1. If I were you, I wouldn't add those last two numbers. Good night, everybody, and thanks for remembering the Mental Health Drive.
Who are Papa and Mama Hush? Get your letters in immediately and help, if you please, the Mental Health Drive. Enter the contest tonight and listen next Saturday night on Truth or Consequences for Papa and Mama Hush and more phone calls. All right, now it's time to hear from Mrs. O'Sullivan. Remember, we sent her over to her own house, but she thought she was going to a haunted house. She gets $100 if she knows where she is. Here comes a fast cue. Let's hear if we fooled her or not. Okay, Johnny Pollock, tune in. The blindfolded Mrs. O'Sullivan's house. Hello, Mrs. O'Sullivan.
Oh,
Can you hear me? This is Ralph Edwards. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, you're still blindfolded, aren't you?
Yes, I
Tell
am.
us where you think you are.
Well, it smells like a brewery here.
What'd you say? It smells like a brewery? No, I'm sorry. Take off the blindfold quickly. Where are you?
But in my own home.
Your own home. We'll give you the $100 anyhow in a big red box of new does. Thank you very much. Oh, she thought she was in a brewery. All right, hello, two gentlemen on the microphone, a Republican and a Democrat, right?
Yes, sir.
What's the Republican's name?
Dewey.
No, I mean
Herb
you.
Scher.
What is your name?
Herb Scher.
Herb Scher. Is this 2730 now? Oh, Herb Scher, you're the Republican. You're
Howard Heisley.
And you're the Democrat.
That's right.
For Mr. Truman. All right. Now, you two willing to make a little election bet?
Yes,
Good.
sir.
The bet is that Mr. Republican here, if Mr. Dewey loses in the election Tuesday, next Saturday night when we're on the air, you'll push a peanut past the Democratic Party headquarters in New York City. And Mr. Democrat, if Mr. Truman loses, you'll push a peanut past the Republican headquarters in New York. Right? Okay,
Right.
we'll tune you in next week to push the peanut on Truth or Consequences. And now our happy-go-duzzy singers have a song to sing about the new does.
Hello. D-U-Z, D-U-Z,
No so bright like this you does.
finest does there ever was.
Now it's big news when you sing.
D-U-Z does everything. From the whitest and the brightest to the roughest and the toughest.
With you does in your washing machine.
Work clothes come out oh so clean.
White things white and colored things bright.
D-U-Z does everything. D-U-Z,
Finest does ever was. Okie dozy kids from beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Ralph Edwards, and the new does, sending you dozens of good washes. And until next week and more phone calls to identify Pop and Mama Hush. Good night, everybody.
It's here, the great new Dream.
A wholly new idea in shampoos.
Now, New Dream gives a complete hair beauty routine. Hair shines naturally, without brightening rinses. Sets easily, holds the curls so long without setting lotion. What's the magic?
New Dream's patented cleansing agent, found in no other shampoo.
What a step forward in hair care. For your complete hair beauty routine, all you do is shampoo
With New Dream.
This is Harlow Wilcox speaking for Procter & Gamble. Ralph Edwards' Truth or Consequences came to you from Milwaukee, Hollywood, and Papa and Mama Hush's Hideaway. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.